Hey there, friends. It's Dominique from the Pixie Planner. Thank you so much for joining me in another video. Today's video is going to be a follow-up to last week's, where I got started on prepping my MÄKSÄLIFE Planner for 2020. And so today we are going to go through the next step in our goal setting process here. And I'm doing these videos just to kind of give you a little idea of how someone else would set up their goals. I'm always so interested in other people's, methods and techniques that they use for their own goal setting process. So I thought it would be nice to share mine with you guys for a little inspiration. So this is the second time I'm filming this video. The first time I was actually writing everything all out with you guys, but did not notice that my phone cut off like halfway through and I kept going. So everything is already filled out. It's not going to be me doing the process with you this time. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through everything that I have written out and that I have set for my annual goals. Okay, let's just go ahead and jump into it here. So I am going to turn to the annual goal section. Now, if you have not watched last week's video yet, I highly recommend you go ahead and do so. That way it just makes a little bit more sense for you since you're seeing the process start to finish. Last week, I touched on the compass assessment, and I went through step 1 and 2 with you for compass assessment and setting intentions. So I'm not going to go through that today, but we are going to go through step 3, the annual goals. I will do the vision next week. So vision and the setup of my monthly goals are going to be next week, since we're going to be closer to, holy cow, January 2020. I'll save that for then. So step 3 here, annual goals. This is what we're going to turn to here. So Sierra, who's the creator of this planner, has done such an amazing job of really just setting things up so simple for you to understand, easy to digest. It's not crazy, complicated, and overwhelming with, ton of different pages to fill out. Straight to the point, but detailed enough, in my opinion. So she has here step 1 for your long-term vision. Starting with the intentions you've set for this year, create goals that support the vision you have for yourself. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to, or what do you want to do? What habits do you want to cultivate? Then follow the instructions for writing goals to establish specific and actionable goals that make you feel excited for the year ahead. Add them to the area of life to which they correspond. So that is what I did here. And again, I'm super bummed that my camera cut off halfway, but it was kind of a fun process of setting it up. But this takes us to those 8 areas of life that come from the compass assessment. And so I'm just going to, I believe it's, then it goes to the vision board after that. So I'm just going to go through these and talk you through what I have here. Okay, so first area is personal. And by the way, before I forget, these stickers that you see here, I took them from this sticker kind of pack here that came from a plum paper order that I had made. And I just wanted to make sure that I was using these up. Actually, one of my goals you'll see is to learn more to implement it's my very first one here, to learn how to implement a lower waste lifestyle. And so one of my big ones, and I actually forgot to put it on here, so I'm going to write that in with you guys. One of my big ones is to use up what I have. And so that is going to go along with all the stickers that I have acquired over my couple years of being in the planner community. So that is something that I'm certainly going to be writing in here with you guys as I talk a little more about the personal goal. So what I decided to do here, now you can make as many goals as you like. You can have 10 goals for each area of life if you really want. I went ahead and I chose one goal that could be broken down in a lot of different steps and can cover different areas of my life. You know, it's kind of a broad goal. It can encompass a few different things. So for the personal section here, I had to learn how to implement a lower waste lifestyle. So I went ahead and I broke this goal down into smaller steps. So first one is create monthly challenges for myself. Now that can be in a lot of different ways. Like for example, for month of January, maybe I can create a challenge for myself to get rid of all plastic containers, like Tupperware containers in my home, and replace it with only glass containers, or no use of plastic utensils for the month of February. So little challenges like that I can start to implement into each month to help me gain progress towards this bigger goal that I have. So the next one is no more use of napkins or paper towels. So that'd be paper napkins or paper towels within my home. And I want to have that completed by February 1st, 2020. So I'm going to give myself the first month of the year to start weaning into use of just only hand towels and washable napkins. Now, it's something that is definitely out of the norm for me. So it's going to take a little while to get used to it. I'm sure for my husband too. So I want to give myself a month to gradually progress into no more use of the paper napkins or towels. And then let me go ahead and write here for what I was just discussing with the stickers that I have. So I'm just going to write here, use what I have. And this is going to be with my stickers. Okay, and this is something where I can certainly get out of control. And if you are a planner babe, you know exactly what I mean with how we love to hoard stickers. So that is going to be another goal of mine, is to use up what I have. So these are areas where I can start to implement a lower waste lifestyle into my daily life. Now, as time goes on, I might come up with more areas. So I've got room to add those in. And then at the bottom of each section here, you have how will your life improve by reaching that particular goal. So for my personal goals, this is going to aid in protecting the environment. It's going to save me money. It'll help me focus on high quality products. And so that is going to be along with my food that I'm going to be purchasing, making sure I stay away from packaged items. And even when it comes to how I purchase my clothing, I want to start going for quality versus quantity. So again, those are areas that I could add in here to the list, is, having to do with my clothing, as well as not only just household items that we're using for cleaning or with our meal prep and things like that. So next, we're going to move on to fun and recreation. And I have here to cultivate a life full of adventure and interest. And of course, that's a very broad goal to have, but I've broken it down again. I'm going to check one item off my local adventures bucket list each month. So I don't want to limit myself to just the big bucket list that I have created, because that can be expensive. The things that I'm wanting to do with that list. A lot of it is travel, and so that can be really expensive. So I'm going to look for more of those local adventures that my husband and I, could go on that don't cost anything or cost very little, but still bring a lot of joy to our lives. So I'm going to make sure that we're checking one item off of that list each month. And then I want to plan for 2 weekend getaways with my husband this year. And I think that is perfectly doable with the 2 getaways that are going to be more local. Again, we're not going to be breaking the bank trying to do something like that. one of my big goals is for saving up a large chunk of money this year. So we want to be a little bit more careful with how we spend that. And so when it comes to how is it going to improve my life, it's going to reduce my stress and anxiety because I'm taking time to have fun. I work hard. I'm going to make sure that I use some of that money towards enriching my life. And then I'll be creating beautiful memories. And, you know, it's easy to replace things and items, but when it comes to the memories you create throughout your lifetime, those really are irreplaceable. So moving on to the next page here, and I'm just going to fold this in half as well, so we're just focusing on that. Then we come to work and learning. So I am a physical therapy assistant, and for me, a big part of it is continuing my education and learning. So I want to attend 2 continuing ed classes or courses this year. And so I set a goal for by March 1st, I want to have researched a local course that I could take and sign up for that. So that's going to be my first course. So to get the ball rolling on it, I want to make sure that I have that done by March 1st. I also want to take advantage of free classes that we have on WebPT, which is the program we use at my clinic. And with that program, not only is it our scheduling program, but we have access to a lot of amazing free courses. And I do take advantage of it, but not enough. So I'm going to make sure that I'm doing a little bit more with that as well. And that's something that I will probably turn into my monthly goals and the weekly action breakdown when we get to that point. So how is it going to improve my life? It's going to improve my skills as a PTA to provide the best possible care for my patients. Next, we have family and relationships. Again, very broad. Nurture a strong and loving marriage. But I'm going to schedule in 1 date night each week. I'm going to make sure that I give 1 hour of uninterrupted attention to my husband every day. Because again, you know, when we look at social media and how easy things are to get lost in when it comes to TV and phone usage, I want to make sure that I'm putting down my phone, I'm turning off that TV, and just having some good quality conversation with my husband at least 1 hour every day. And then I mentioned this on my fun and recreation, but plan for 2 weekend getaways this year. And so that is something else that is still going to be very important for improving that relationship between the two of us. So how's it going to improve my life? It's going to help me build a stronger connection with my husband and a deeper love. Now, turning over to the next 4 categories we have, and we're coming into health and wellness here. So what I have is build a stronger and healthier body. That encompasses, again, a lot of different areas. But for me, it's going to be focusing on diet. My big thing is I have a major sweet tooth. So I'm going to do no sweets 3 to 4 days each week. Now, I eventually want to work up to no sweets during the week and only on weekend, but I'm going to start with baby steps. That's going to be huge for me. So that is what I'm going to start with. And then when it comes to alcoholic beverages, I love red wine. I am from a European family, and it was something that we would have pretty much nightly with our meals. So I want to make sure that I'm having no more than 2 glasses 2 to 3 times a week. So that's going to help me to, again, just improve my overall health. And also at times my anxiety can be worsened by alcohol. Next, I have practice yoga 3 times a week. I'm going to start with that. I eventually want to be doing this daily, but this is going to be my start. And then lastly, I want to learn to do a handstand. And that goes with my yoga practice. I, this year, was able to accomplish a forearm stand, which was just so exciting and huge for me. So the next step is going to be to do a full handstand, and I'm giving myself the full year by December to accomplish that by. How's it going to improve my life? I'll be lowering my blood pressure and keeping better control over my anxiety. Next, we move on to spiritual and personal growth. Now, I am a huge lover of personal development books, and that can be for, my own personality type. It can be for productivity, learning habits, a lot of different areas for the personal development book. And so I'm going to make sure that I choose one book to read from my list each month. I've got an ongoing list of personal development type books, and I have my list of just for fun books too. But I'm going to make sure that I at least get one of those in each month. And I want to make sure that I am reading at least one chapter every night. Now, that's just going to help keep that process going of me trying to accomplish one book each month. I am really bad at diving headfirst into a book, going at it strong, and then one day I don't spend any time reading it, and then it turns into 2 days, then 3 days, I fall off the wagon. So to keep me focused on it, and also just to I'm that person where if I don't have a book cover sitting on my nightstand and looking right at me, I will totally forget what book it is that I even started reading. That's why Kindle and iPads never worked for me when it came to reading books on those devices. So out of sight, out of mind. And at times, if I'm cleaning up, I put the book off to the side. I forget what I was even reading. And then it just, nothing is accomplished. So I want to keep this book at my nightstand and make sure that I am reading one chapter at least every single night. That way I'm less likely to fall off the wagon. And how is this going to improve my life? I'll be learning more ways to improve my life and gain a better understanding of ways to better manage my anxiety. So I am wanting to learn more about my own personality type. A lot of my books are going to be focused around that. Then the last two we have here, financial goals. My big goal this year is to save $8,000 to purchase the car that I currently have in cash. It's a car that I am leasing. So at the end of the lease, which is going to be December of 2020, I want to have $8,000 to purchase that car. That way I have no more car payment. Now, some of the ways that I'm going to be helping myself along the way is 1 week of no spend every month. And that's at a minimum. I want to try to shoot for more, but I'm at least going to give myself 1 week of no spending every month. Now, when I say no spend, that's going to be on items that I don't necessarily need. So if it's going to be on clothing, or if I saw a cute, household item that I'm really tempted to buy, things that just are not necessities. So that's going to be what my no spend is focused on. Then every month I want to try to put $500 into my savings to really push me along there to get to $8,000. Any gifted money that I get from my family, whether it be for holidays or birthdays or anything like that, I am going to put towards my car savings. And as I mentioned, my goal is to have the $8,000 saved up by December 1st of 2020. My lease is up in January of 2021. So for improving my life, less financial burden, which will allow us to put more money into travel and experiences, the important stuff. Then lastly, physical environment. I am someone where if I have cluttered atmosphere, cluttered space, my mind is cluttered. My anxiety is worse. So I want to create a home environment that is calm and that brings me joy. Couple of the ways I'm going to do this. I'm going to complete a major declutter of 2 rooms each month. Now, this will, I think, work out great because even though I like to keep on top of tidying, we acquire things throughout the months and we can easily stash them away in different rooms and forget about them. So if I can do 2 rooms each month, like the guest room and say the guest bathroom, then that will allow me monthly to make sure that that clutter is not building up. And it just makes it easier then to go through and clean things because I'm not having to move things around because there's going to be less in there to begin with. Then I'm going to begin our basement project by February 1st. Our basement project is to put in additional storage to clear out any unused items. So we have a lot of our moving boxes still down there. So I need to go through those, see what I truly need and what I don't need. What I haven't used in the past year, I want to donate. So we've got that project that's going to be happening this year, and it's going to take a while for us too. But I want to make sure that I start that by February 1st. So that gives me a month to really brainstorm, to research different products that I might need for the storage options. So that's going to be a big one. Now, lastly, I want to make sure that I am sticking with a 10 to 15 minute quick tidy every single day. This is going to be another one of those habits that I work on weekly. My reading daily is going to be one of the big ones, and then this is going to be one as well. So that way I always stay ahead of the game. I'm not letting that clutter build up. And I'm usually really good with this for a couple of weeks, and then I just get busy or my motivation goes out the window and I fall off. So I want to make sure that this is constantly in the front of my mind. So this will be in my weekly habit tracker. Now, how is this going to improve my life? I'll have a home I'm proud of, and this is going to allow me to spend less time cleaning and more time for fun. I just want to have a nice open space that keeps me calm and that I'm proud of. So physical environment was the last area of the 8. So that completes my annual goals. And the nice thing is, if one of these just doesn't work for me, I can scratch it right out and throw in a new one. This is not something that I am holding myself to for the entire year. It's something that is going to get me started because right now, these are the big areas that stand out in my mind. So this is something that I highly suggest is don't limit yourself. You know, start off with what is on your mind right now. If things change as the months go by, that's fine. There's no point in limiting yourself. Just make as many goals as you feel is necessary for you. Again, I like to keep it to a minimum, but that does not mean that you shouldn't be having, 5 goals in one area, 1 goal in another. You do you. That is the joy of planning and goal setting because everyone is so incredibly different. So that is it for today's video, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down below for me. And I would like to know, what is one big goal that you are going to be working on this year? I'm always so curious about what each person is wanting to accomplish in the year to come. And I love how through this community, we can really inspire each other when it comes to the goal setting process because we all do it so differently. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you for joining me in today's video, and I will see you again soon in my next one. Bye.